Alright guys, so today we're checking out the brand new Sennheiser CX400BT. Now this is Sennheiser's brand new pair of truly wireless earbuds that comes in retailing at $200. They are available in both black and white, and they are $100 less than the Momentum 2 wireless, but it does pull back on some of the features. But we're going to check out some of the features that these do have and what it is you get inside the box. Now to start with, these do use the same Sennheiser app that the Momentum 2s use, so you are able to use some built-in EQ settings or just kind of EQ them yourself, which I think is very important because I will say that the sound of these right out of the box did sound a little bit flat, but we'll talk about the sound a little bit later. Now these do use Bluetooth 5.1 and they also have aptX, AAC, and SBC playback. So this is one of the more solid, stable connections I've experienced on a pair of earbuds, and I didn't have any kind of lag with movies, videos, and even gaming. Now as far as the IP rating, this is definitely disappointing on a pair that costs $200 because there is no official IP rating. So you're not really sure if you can get water splashed on these, or if you're outside using them and they start to rain, you're not really sure if this is going to damage the earbuds or not. Now, as far as what you're getting inside the box, you are getting 4 sets of silicone ear tips, and then they've also included a USB-C cable. And speaking of the charging cable, battery life on these are actually pretty decent because on the earbuds themselves, you're going to get around 7 hours, where with the charging case, you can expect to get around 20. And if you do happen to pick the earbuds up and they are dead, it does have the fast charge feature where a 10-minute charge will get you an hour's worth of use. Now moving over to looking at the case, it's not as wide as the Momentum 2s, but it is definitely a little bit taller. And on the back of these, you can see the USB-C input for charging, and then right next to that is the single indicator light so that you can kind of gauge how much battery life is left on the case. Now moving over to looking at the earbuds, the first thing you're going to notice is they are a little bit on the larger sides, but that kind of matches up with the way the Momentum 2s are. And I think this is by design because the Sennheisers kind of have a hollow feel to them, but they definitely have a little bit more openness in the sound because the drivers on these are only 7mm. There's not a large battery inside of these, so you can definitely tell there's a lot of open space. Now, as far as the controls on these are using touch controls, and I'm happy to say that they control everything. So you have your play, pause, skipping your tracks forward, going backwards, and even volume control. Now, the one thing that I really feel like these are missing out on are the smart sensors. They don't have that ability to auto pause when you take them out of your ear, and they don't resume when you put them back in. And the problem with that is a lot of pairs that are in this price range that kind of come standard. Now, for you guys that like to use your earbuds individually, sadly, the only one you can do that with is the right earbud. Now, as far as the microphones on here, this is another thing that I don't think they put a lot of focus on because the microphones on here are just okay. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
All right, guys, so here is a mic test using the Sennheisers. I think it does an okay job of picking up my voice. I think in the price range you would expect maybe a little bit more, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now before we talk about the sound, I want you guys to be able to hear some samples for yourself. And the best way to do this is to put on a pair of headphones or your own earbuds so that you can hear some of the characteristics of the sound that comes out of these. But here's some samples for you guys to check out here. I might go too fast. I don't care about those limits. So now that you guys have heard some of the samples, I want to be able to tell you what I think about the sound. I think as far as on a sound aspect, this is some of the best truly wireless earbuds that you can buy. I feel like they sound very natural. It doesn't feel like anything is being overemphasized. In fact, I did feel out of the box they sounded a little flat, but luckily Sennheiser's app allowed me to EQ these the way that I wanted to, so I was able to bring out the bass a little more. I was able to bring out a little bit more detail in the treble, and it seems like the main focus of these though was to keep it sounding really natural, more like you're in a live environment. So I felt like the bass had plenty of punch, but it didn't feel like it was trying to do too much. Now, I did feel like with the mids, everything always felt nice and clean. There was a lot of details there, and I really didn't feel the need to try to push these up or bring them down in any way. Now, the treble, I definitely turned up about as much as it would go, and you could tell that it pulled more details out of the song. Same thing with pulling out details in vocals. This is a really nice sounding pair of earbuds. Now, if you are somebody that just wants a flatter sound, it's nice to know that these do that right out of the box. But I do like to hear a little bit more bass and a little bit more treble, and I liked having that ability to turn those up. Now, as far as the sound stage and the sound imaging, this is definitely where these excel, because this is one of the most open sounding earbuds that I've heard. It makes you feel like you're in a much larger environment. You can tell where the detail of instruments were coming from. You can tell that the singer just always kind of sounded like they were right there in front of you, and it just made it a very pleasing earbud to listen to. Now, they are not perfect. I do have some cons with these, but it really kind of falls back on the price. I think a lot of other truly wireless earbuds in that $200 price range are offering a lot of features, where I feel like the Sennheiser is mainly focusing on the sound. So I think at $200, some people are going to miss out on not having active noise canceling. There's no Qi wireless charging on the charging case. There's no smart sensors on the earbuds, so they don't pause when you take them out, and they don't resume when you put them back in. And then some people are not going to be happy with the fact that you can only use the right earbud by itself if you want to just use one earbud. So if you can look past these not having some of the features, you're going to get one of the best sounding truly wireless earbuds out there, and I think that more than justifies the $200 price tag. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Sennheiser CX400BT. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.